I'm going to go with the Bengals here. The spread's at 5. The over-under is 49.5. Kudos to the Raiders. They found their way into the playoffs, given the tumultuous season that they've had of, John Gruden resigning, Henry Ruggs getting in the DUI accident that killed somebody, Damon Arnett getting released because he threatened to kill somebody on Snapchat. Just whatever could have happened with the Raiders really did. And Derek Carr and Rick Bisaccia really steadied the ship in all of this. They went on a 3-game winning streak to punch their ticket to the playoffs against the Chargers on Sunday. But I feel like that magic's going to run out against Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. Chase is a dude. He's just a straight up dude. I was critical of the pick. I thought they should have gotten offensive linemen. They found a way to make it work. Joe Burrow has actually been pretty upright, but he did get dinged up the game prior to the last game. He did sit out last week's game to rest up a bit, but I guess his knee's going to be okay. I like the Bengals at home in this spot. Kudos to the Raiders, but I think the Bengals are going to easily cover this 5. I wouldn't be surprised if they won by more than a touchdown. I mean, Casey Hayward is the best corner in that secondary, but there's just so many weapons with Jamar Chase and Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins and even C.J. Uzama, the tight end, Joe Mixon. Like that's, Darren Waller's a dude too. Brian Edwards started to come along a little bit down the stretch, but I feel like firepower wise, it's going to be a tough task to keep up with the Bengals.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're spot on, right? The Raiders were such a great story this year, man. Like, I've said this a couple of weeks in a row now. Like, I understand Derek Carr is not in the MVP race, but he's got to be recognized somehow. Like, what he has done for that locker room to provide leadership, to keep it all together, is something of magic. I mean, his intangibles are off the charts, right? Usually when a head coach gets fired, I'm sure it took a while for the locker room to warm up to Bisaccia, right? And I think in that interim, Derek Carr is probably the guy they look to for leadership. And that's why we always talk about quarterbacks so much. A lot of people sometimes get nauseated with us talking about quarterbacks and this and that, but they are the most important, part of a football team, in my opinion. They basically provide leadership. They touch the ball the most. Sometimes a team can even, take on the identity of their quarterback. And I think that's what's happening with the Raiders. I mean, you're starting to see the toughness that Derek Carr displays kind of get down into Max Crosby and Darren Waller and all those guys. And it's a great story. I would love for ESPN to do a 30 for 30 down the road on the Cars on this season with the Raiders. However, the Bengals just have so much goddamn firepower, man. It's not even funny. I'm watching some of the throws that Joe Burrow made against the Kansas City Chiefs, and he's like, I don't want to sound in a bad way, but he's so arrogant with his throws. Like, if he sees one-on-one coverage out there, he's going there. It doesn't matter. Like, he's so cocky with his arm talent and his placement of the ball and how far he can drive the ball. He's like, if you put one-on-one out there, that man's getting the ball. And he has the receivers that can break man coverage easily. You've got Boyd, you've got Higgins, you've got Jamar Chase, who's probably going to be the offensive rookie of the year. And probably the best wide receiver I've seen as a rookie since Randy Moss. We saw Justin Jefferson last year, but I think Jamar Chase, being a little bigger, is a little bit more explosive as well. So, I think it's going to be a game that, weather isn't going to be a factor in any way. It's going to be a clear sky day for the most part. It's going to be cold in Cincinnati, but there's no precipitation or wind. So I got the Bengals winning. I think it's going to be a little bit of a blowout, truthfully. I mean, this is probably going to be a little bit of a 31 to a 17 type of game. I think the only chance the Raiders have is if they obviously force turnovers and they just run the hell out of the ball with Josh Jacobs. Keep Joe Burrow on the sideline.
Yep. Now, Jay, I got to ask. I know Skyline Chili is like the hallmark of Cincinnati. Is that like in your neck of the woods in Columbus, or do you like have to go to Cincinnati to get to Skyline Chili?
It's throughout Ohio, right? So what they've done is they've started expanding throughout Ohio. We have one right down the street from here in Columbus. But Skyline Chili, it's just a masterful product because their cheese is so good. Their buns are soft. Like, it's just so good. If you ever make it out to Cincinnati, please try some Skyline Chili. You will have a boner. I will.
Are you gonna get some Skyline Chili for the game?
I might have to. I'm talking about it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And the one thing you cannot do is you cannot get Gold Star chili because there's a competing brand in Cincinnati that pretends they're as good as Skyline, but trust me, they ain't good at all. Okay.
So if you had to compare it to coffee, Skyline Chili, in your opinion, is Starbucks.
Yes.
And Gold Star Chili is the piss water known as Dunkin' Donuts.
Correct. You know it on. You have it on good authority that I call Dunkin' Donuts piss water. Because I refuse to put that in my body, okay? My body is a temple, and I will not put piss water into my temple.